Hey, welcome everyone. Welcome back to Power Tips, where we've been looking at the release notes and talking about all of the new features that are coming to Dynamics 365 and Power Platform. So today we're talking about customer insights journeys and some of the features that used to be part of marketing and now we call customer insights. So let's jump right into the features that we want to talk about. So first of all, I always have to call out the Copilot features because you all know that I'm a fan of all of these AI-enabled enhancements. So now we can create journeys with Copilot. So the idea here is that we can describe what we want in our journey, who we want, when we want to wait, who it should be to, and then Copilot will create that journey for you. So you'll be able to see a preview and see a summary and then start adding your content into that journey. So this is great for helping new users creating journeys learn how to use that. And that will be generally available in October of this year.
Love it. I think we talked about this in release wave 1. So I wonder if this just got carried over and pushed off.
Well, so that's an interesting call out. As I was reading through all of this stuff, I started to feel like there was a number of things that, like, I swear we've talked about this or I've read this before. And I think some of it's a carryover, but I also wonder if some of these features are things that were not. So there was I can't remember the name. There's a real-time marketing and the other type.
That's all. There's nothing other than
No,
real-time
right, but
marketing. Don't say
previously,
the words.
yeah, there was that other thing, and then there's real time, and now everything's shifted to real time. So I started to feel like maybe some of the things that we're reading about were features that were not initially carried over and are now coming out in real time because they've been tweaked to fit the model of real time. This is total my own speculation. I have no idea if this is accurate, but it just, to your point, it's funny that you raised that because we didn't talk about that offline. And the fact that that was your first thing is I had the exact same thought. I'm like, I swear that we touched on this. So interesting,
Yeah.
cool to see it. Not surprising though.
And I know
another option too. It was in preview, so perhaps they got a lot of feedback from users like you and are making it better. Because this screenshot for Create a Journey with Copilot is far superior to what I think I recall seeing. Like, look how specific that is. That's giving you this step and if this, then that, all right there in natural language. So
Right.
It's pretty neat.
And we did also already talk about the Copilot for setting up real-time marketing and also the piece around setting up your segment. So I know the segment, like creating your segments with Copilot was before. So yeah, there's so Copilot in so many areas. So I am all confused.
True story.
Also, we can collect data without custom attributes. So now when you're creating these forms, you can have additional information that you save as part of the form just to store temporary information. So the example in the documentation is like somebody's meal preference or something like that. So it's saved as part of the form submission, but you don't need a custom attribute for that. Malcolm, you were cheering. What do you think about this?
Yeah, I like this one. This has always been a pain, not just for the marketing journeys element, but everything. If you're collecting data, but it's kind of a one-time thing for one event, do you really want to create a field that's going to exist in your database that you now need to worry about or think about down the road? And people are going to have questions about, well, what's that information? Why does only one record have it, not the other ones? So I think this is great to save some of that administrative time of actually going in and create it. Not that that's a huge lift, but it just saves that extra time and the ability to have this information when you need it. It does give rise to me though too, but if you only need it one time, is it truly valuable? But I think the answer for that is it is for that a specific event. There's probably specific information you want to collect that could help you next year when you run the same event to do some analytics and plan who you're inviting and whatnot. So I just think this is a good one. That's why I clapped.
And I think put in one more feature, which was related to personalizing your journey based on those web interactions. So this is related to better tracking what's happening on your website, which you can do with this tracking script. And then you can use that to trigger the personalized customer experiences related to the other stuff going on in your journey. So just getting a more holistic view of your customers and leveraging that data, as well as still protecting their privacy, of course. So lots of kind of cool things that we can think about here as we just get a mature marketing strategy, we can now support all of that in our customer journeys.
Yeah, mature marketing is kind of perfect for what I was thinking when you talked about this, because this feels like somewhere where the dynamics for marketing, I'm sorry, customer insights journeys might be lacking when you compare it to some of the other marketing automation tools. So I think this is pretty cool that this is actually something that will be included in here. Bravo. Sorry, I called it marketing. All right. I just wanted to highlight two quick things that I thought were cool. So thing number one, you can export your data to your own storage for custom reporting. So as I think everyone here knows, Dataverse storage is a little bit pricey compared to others. So this is a good cost savings thing. And the dynamics for, oh God, I did it again. Customer Insights Journeys product itself generates a lot of data. And if you are in charge of managing your capacity or just checking it out, you know that it creeps up really, really fast. So this is a strategy that can help you maintain a capacity that everybody's happy with without having to spend a ton of money. So the highlights here is securely export your journey data and export data from your journeys, including interaction data and all the entity data. So this is really cool. Awesome back-end stuff that doesn't really make fancy new features like the Copilot stuff Kylie talked about. But this is great. Public preview is at the end of the year, and GA for this one's not till March of next year. Thoughts on this one, guys?
Looks good. I think this is great, especially well for saving on storage, but also if you have, a data lake and you want to do transactional reporting, all that fun stuff that we need our data all over the place for.
All that fun stuff.
Yeah.
The other one's a little bit more exciting. Generate leads that link to an existing contact. So there's a screenshot of what this is going to look like on the right that's right out of the release notes. So this allows you to use parent contacts for leads in all of your real-time journey forms. You can update both the lead and contact data at the same time. So if someone submits a form and maybe they're updating a phone number, you can update both records. You don't end up with mismatched data, which is cool. You can define the existing record that should be updated with the form submission. So you can kind of see that here in the screenshot, like what's your matching rule, and you can configure different things. You can set up specific granular matching rules that make sense for your organization to keep your data quality high, and you can preset your default target audience configuration for your forms. So I think this is awesome, especially when you're talking about your data quality within your Dataverse environment. This one is next year though, so we have to wait a little bit, February and March.
And we keep, it's hard to avoid any discussions around AI and data and what happens with your information. And in order for Copilot and any AI solution to do well, it's got to have solid data. So it's great to see the focus, almost like a proactive focus on ensuring solid data quality, because those other tools that are going to come later to be able to create your journeys and whatnot are going to be dependent on good data. And if we don't have that right at the outset, you're in for a world of hurt. So this is exciting, especially that update one. When a lead comes in, it's going to create and update data on phone numbers, whatnot, on both records. That's awesome.
I like that too.
So I have two that I picked. There was quite a few to pick from. So there was a number that caught my eye. You guys picked some of them as well. But these two are both just public preview in, I think this one's clearly January. I forget the next one, but we'll see it in a minute. So this one, I've easily set up and execute pre and post event communications. So this one made me sit back and think, isn't this already a thing? Can't we already do this? And so I'm interested to see this when it comes out, because to the point, I think you could already do this, but I think it must, I'm going to say automate. I don't know that that's the right word. Automate it in some way or tie it to the event. So you can say, hey, before the event, do these things, and after or at certain intervals, which would be pretty cool. They don't give a lot of insight. The screenshot you see is the one from the event, or from the learn material. And so it doesn't really show us anything of interest. So I'm curious where this gets layered in, because I see a lot of potential with this. It would be great if you could say, okay, here's the event and here's the communications. And I assume that's exactly what it's going to do. But to me, this is one that you could already do by you have an event and you're going to say the event is on this date and we're going to send these communications ahead of time. We're going to send these ones during and we're going to send these ones after. But that would all be manual. So if you can somehow layer that into the event and it's reading the dates and times and taking action accordingly, I think that one's super cool. But January 2025 is its public preview date. So nothing in early access or GA at this point, just planning it out.
Maybe the key to this one is the word easily, because you're right.
Yeah.
Can't do this stuff now. It talks about templates in your bullet points. I don't think
Mhm.
those are there now, but maybe they are. Maybe that's the new thing.
Yeah, could be. So I'm interested to see what shakes out on that one. And then this one, Heidi, you just mentioned it. This, what did you say, marketing maturity? I think is a great way because that's what came to mind with this. This is the thing that I think a lot of these other applications already do in the marketing space. You can send it out and get a heat map of what are people clicking on, right? Here's what we sent them. And okay, great, we had 1,000 opens. That's awesome. But what did people actually look at and where were they interacting? And then to start to analyze why, right? Was it because the image was captivating and that's where they were drawn to and that's what they clicked? And so when we have something else, maybe we should use a captivating image over here. Or was there some other reason? Is it specific content that seemed to resonate with people? Whatever. I mean, the bottom line to all of this to me is the word analytics. That's the big part of this equation is great, we sent it out, great, we can configure it, we can put it out there, but what actually happens to it once it gets out the door? So I love that they're continuing to focus on analytical aspects to help people be able to understand what's happening with these communications. Because I think that's I'm no marketer, but to me that seems like a pretty important component to a strong marketing team.
Mm-hmm. I love a good click map. I don't know why it makes such a big difference. We've had this data. You can see the links and how many people click it in a dashboard, but the click map just makes me happy. Yeah. Maybe I'm a more visual person.
And maybe that's it, right? They're appealing to some people can soak it in and digest it that way. Some people would rather see it in a table, and I don't know. So, all right. Well, those are all of the tips that we had compiled for this customer insights journeys session. And I think we're going to come back next time with a pivot on the same topic, but from the data perspective, customer insights data. So join us for that in a couple of weeks. We look forward to seeing you there. Take care.